May I come in, sir?
Yes, please come.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, Piyush, please take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
Please introduce yourself.
Sir, my name is Piyush and I was born and brought up in Ranchi, Jharkhand. I did my initial schooling from Kendriya Vidyalaya Ranchi and Delhi Public School Ranchi respectively. And after that I did my electrical engineering BTech from NIT Jamshedpur in 2013. And after that I joined Jindal Power Limited as assistant manager. I worked for 2 years and 2 months in the power sector. And after that I resigned from my job in order to pursue civil services examination. And again in 2019 I joined RITES Limited, a public sector undertaking under Ministry of Railway as an engineer. And sir, again I resigned from my job in 2020, August 2020. And presently I am working in NTPC as assistant engineer at Raebareli, Uttar Pradesh.
Have you appeared for IAS exam also, civil service examination?
Yes, sir.
How many times?
Sir, in civil services exam, I have appeared 6 times, sir.
So what was the outcome?
Sir, I have written mains 5 times and appeared for interview in 2018 and missed the final selection by 4 marks.
How many marks?
4 marks.
4 marks. Okay.
Yes.
You appeared for the civil service interview in 2018.
Sir, interview, yes, sir.
Interview.
Yes, sir.
18.
Yes.
And then after? Any interview? No.
No interview, sir. I appeared in mains in 2020 civil services exam and 2021 civil services exam.
Means?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But
I didn't get the interview.
Okay. Now you are working in NTPC.
Yes, sir.
Raebareli.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, my colleagues will ask the question. I will join in the last.
Hello, Piyush.
Thank you.
So, Piyush, you have mentioned novel and non-fiction books.
Yes, sir.
What do we mean by novel? So, what type of books are we referring to?
Sir, in novel, there is a major emphasis on creativity and imagination, and the facts written in the novel may not be true.
May not be true. So, can we put non-fiction books in the category of novel?
Sir, generally, sir, non-fiction books are written according to some standards where knowledge or ideas given by the author is time-tested, and it's not only the figment of imagination, but also data and facts pertain to accuracy.
Okay. So, I didn't get the answer still. Can we put these books under the category of novels?
Sir, in my view, we cannot.
Okay.
But they can be categorized as non-fiction books only, sir, in my view.
Okay. So, Piyush, you are from Jharkhand.
Yes, sir.
Please tell some iron ore mines in
Yes.
Jharkhand. 3, 4.
So there is a major iron ore mine in the district of Jamshedpur, that is Naumondi mines, and one mine is also located in Bokaro, in the district of Bokaro. So the name I am not able to recall.
Okay, one more.
Sir, in the district of Ghatsila also we are having an iron ore mine, but the name of that very mine skipped my mind, sir.
Okay. So you are currently working with NTPC.
Yes, sir.
So what is the PF arrangement like? I mean, is EPF handling the provident fund of employees of NTPC?
No, sir. Sir, in NTPC they are having their own trust which manages the provident fund of employee, but all those things are inspected by EPFO.
So it's an exempted establishment.
Yes, sir.
Please define what is an exempted establishment. Who has the authority to grant exemption to establishment?
Sir, exempted establishment is granted to those very organizations which apply for it. It's a voluntary agreement, and the condition is that they would give rate of return on deposits which are at par or more than those offered by Provident Fund, and it is granted by the Chief Central Provident
Okay,
Fund
so
Commissioner
do you
Office.
think the enforcement officers have any role in ensuring compliance by these exempted establishments as well?
Yes, sir.
What role they would be playing, because they are maintaining a separate PF. So how are they supposed to play a role?
Sir, there is a in the agreement where the exemption has been granted to any organization. There is a clause of regular inspection, and the cost of those very inspection is borne by the organization itself. In
So
in my case, NTPC.
Do enforcement officers carry out inspections of those establishments as well?
According to my knowledge, yes,
Okay.
they carry out.
So you are an electrical engineering graduate from NIT Jamshedpur.
Yes, sir.
So do you think this knowledge of graduation will be of any help over here in EPFO?
Sir, in my view, it will be of immense help in carrying out my job in EPFO. In engineering or in particularly in electrical engineering, we try to focus more on achieving the task in a defined time-bound manner. We work through an outcome-oriented process. These things will be helpful in EPFO also. And sir, in electrical engineering, we try to connect, just like we have connected the whole country under one grid. In EPFO, we are also trying to connect whole country under one social security grid of the country. So, there is
So you worked in Rights Limited as well.
Yes, sir.
You had a good salary there.
Yes, sir.
Why did you quit that job?
Sir, I have joined the Rights Limited in 2019, and my idea was to pursue my civil services ambition along with my job. But when I went to Rights Limited, I found it quite difficult as it was a time demanding job. Therefore, I thought it's best to quit and give 2 more attempts. And
What was your option subject?
sir, in my option subject in civil services exam was electrical engineering.
Electrical engineering itself. So why do you think not a lot of people they opt for engineering subjects? Because you might agree that you are one of the rare ones.
Yes.
Why do you think this happens?
Sir, in my view, there is a general opinion among the students that the syllabus of any science optional or engineering in particular is quite vast as compared to humanities, and there is also less resources available in market.
Or is it the reason that people don't study during engineering?
Sir, I don't believe that is the reason, because we have found many toppers who were toppers in their graduation in engineering subjects. They are also outshining in civil services by taking any humanity subject.
Okay.
So we cannot generalize.
So do you think you will be contented with this job because you have had jobs with better salaries, right? Do you think by coming here you will be working NTPC? What is your salary currently?
Sir, my CTC is around 12 lakhs per annum.
12 lakhs. Okay. So you are opting for a job which offers you lesser salary. Don't you think it is contradictory to the normal course of evolution of a human being?
Sir, if we are looking only at the package, we can say that. But the overall aspect of the job and my personal ambition and my personal inclination is more towards this nature of the job. That is the reason why in the first place I pursued for civil services.
Okay, what attracts you as far as nature of job is concerned in EPFO?
So the nature of the job is very challenging as well as very heartening. That
Which role are you talking about? Is it about enforcement officer or accounts officer or both?
Sir, both, sir.
What are the challenges when one is an accounts officer?
Sir, when any officer works as an account officer, he has to deal with numbers and concepts of accountancy as well as data.
No, to my mind, the software is handling everything. Not a lot of role these days is left for them. So what other challenges do you foresee if you are made accounts officer in EPFO?
So my biggest challenge will be to check that those very data are of authentic nature as well as quality of data, and if we can make some useful information out of those very data to design or implement the scheme in a better way.
Okay. So you are aware of the NPS and GPF, both the pension scheme.
Yes.
Do you think the old pension setup should be brought back? It was more beneficial for the employees.
So in the old pension setup, approximately 50% of last drawn salary is being given as a pension. under the defined pension scheme. So, and in national pension scheme, at present, approximately 35 to 45% of last drawn salary is being routed. So for the employees, it is quite beneficial, but for the fiscal consideration of the country as well as state, it was not.
So what I can infer is you are suggesting it should not be brought back.
Sir, I'm suggesting that we can also improve NPS so that an employee gets more return and it becomes more lucrative.
How to do it? Tell 2-3 solutions.
Sir, currently around 40% of NPS contribution is being so 40% of NPS contribution is being annuitized. We can increase those very number so that the annuity which an employee get after the retirement is more.
Don't you think the returns will decrease in that sense, because already the interest rate that is getting credited into the accounts of NPS subscribers is very low because of the low returns on investment. If we increase the annuity, the returns will further drop down. The whole concept of the return and then calculating the pension on the return thing, that will be, the whole purpose will be defeated then.
Sir, in present year or in last 2-3 years, things may be quite different, but market is capable of giving more returns in the future.
Okay, I get your point. My last question to you is, what do you think is the number of establishment covered under EPFO?
I'm sorry, sir.
What do you think is the number of establishment covered under EPFO in India currently?
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to recall the exact numbers.
Okay, and any gross idea you can take?
Sir, total number of subscribers in EPFO is around 12 crore.
Okay,
12.83 crore.
but you don't have any idea about the number of establishments, companies?
No, sir. I'm not.
Those were my questions now, sir.
Okay. So Piyush, tell me why EPFO exists as a separate body and not part of the Labour Ministry?
Sir, I have also tried to search the answer of this very question, but to my mind, to my understanding, the thing is to provide more autonomy to EPFO. I don't know the exact reasons.
So, which is the highest body of the EPFO?
Sir, the highest decision-making body in EPFO is Central Board of Trustee, which is headed by the Union Labour Minister, by the Honourable Union Minister.
Tell me more about its composition.
Sir, and below the highest executive body, that is CBT, Central Board of Trustees, there is Office of Provident Fund Commissioner, who executes.
Do you know who are appointed as members of the CBT?
I'm sorry, sir, I don't know their name.
Do you think there is red tapeism within EPFO?
Sir, there are some processes which could be further streamlined, and I believe it is true for all organizations including EPFO, and there are always steps for improving over processes. It's a continuous process.
So presently you are working with some body of railways, right?
No, sir, I had resigned from Rights Limited in 2022, and
Okay,
presently
so-
I am working in NTPCs.
Okay, so NTPC also has this red tapeism problem.
There are some departments where the processes are cumbersome, sir, and we are constantly trying to resolve or to streamline those processes. Yes, sir, there are some red tapeism.
Okay. So do you think to improve efficiency we should privatize EPFO also?
Sir, in my view, sir, EPFO also performs some sovereign functions which are difficult to be privatized, and the data which
What kind of problem?
sovereign function in the terms of compliance of laws, sir, compliance of Employees Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provision Act 1952, and apart from it, sir, the data which gathers by EPFO in
Okay, so let's say if we keep the compliance part with EPFO, should we privatize the rest of the things, the funds, maintenance of the funds, claim settlement, etc.?
Sir, I believe it may not be in the best interest of EPFO and subscribers because, sir, as a government organization, EPFO gets a lot of data as well as feedbacks from sister organization such as Employee State Organization, ESIC body, and Ministry of Labour and Employment. And if it becomes a separate private body, then it will be very difficult to share data through government institutions. It may hinder its progress or to govern more.
But why is this data needed from other bodies?
Sir, currently there are only 12 crore subscribers in the country, and EPFO is playing a major role in formalization of workforce in our country. So that has to be substantially increased, and therefore it is important that
So do you think EPFO has contributed in increasing formalization?
I believe it's playing a major role in formalizing the economy.
What? How?
So through its schemes such as Employees Provident Fund Act, Employees Pension Scheme 1985, and Employees Deposit Linked Insurance Scheme, it is trying to provide a social security net.
But how it's leading to increasing formality of the labor market?
Sir, under the recently announced Atmanirbhar Bharat EPFO Yojana, in that very thing, EPFO is contributing 12% of employees as well as employers' contribution to some.
Okay, have you heard about the new Social Security Code?
Yes, sir.
So how has this new Social Security Code changed or proposes to change the contribution numbers stated by?
Sir, the new Social Security Code strives to establish a Social Security Fund and Social Security Board to include gig workers as well as.
No, I'm asking contribution percentage. You mentioned 12%, right?
Yes, sir.
So how is what is the new percentage basically?
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to give.
Okay. So tell me 4 features. Mention 2-3 at least 4 features of the new Social Security Code. How is it an improvement or change over the previous?
So the new Social Security Code strives to bring more gig workers and platform workers under its ambit.
How will it do it? How does it propose?
So it proposes to establish a National Social Security Fund and National Social Security Board on which members of employers as well as central government and state government representative will be there, and it also proposes to levy 1 to 2% of total revenue of employers in gig and platform sector to make up this fund.
Okay, so you read a lot of books, right? So tell me why book reading is declining in India.
Sir, in my view, more people are shifting to digital book reading in the form of ebook and Kindle versions of the book. And in my view, sir, it's on the rise, the total book reading. Mode may be different.
Okay, so tell me few major differences between e-books and normal books from perspective of a reader.
Sir, from the perspective of reader, I personally feel, sir, reading physical books brings more joy to a reader than e-book. But that's only my personal feeling, sir. And some people enjoy reading e-book more than a physical copy of the book. And it becomes easy to handle books when.
Who my side is the answer, please.
Okay. Okay, Piyush. Have you heard the term sacred groves?
Yes, sir, I have heard that.
What is that?
Sacred groves are, sir, these are the protected forests, sir, which a community or tribe tries to have been protecting it from ages for their religious and cultural reasons.
So, what is the objective of making these types of areas?
So the objective is to conserve and preserve forest, along with to respect the cultural and historical ties of the people to their forest and motherland.
Have you visited any natural forest area of your state?
No, sir. I haven't visited, but I have passed through some forested
Please tell
area.
which areas?
Sir, in the state of in the district of Jamshedpur, there is some forest area in the vicinity of Saraikela, Khasawa district. So through that very one highway is passing through, which connects to Ranchi. So I have passed through those.
Have you heard the term Saranda forest?
Yes, sir, Surrender Forest.
Why it is famous?
Surrender Forest, sir, it was the means there were some Naxalite origin people in the Surrender Forest earlier, but now it's
Which
changed.
particular species is growing there naturally? Which tree species?
I'm sorry, sir.
No idea. Okay. Okay. What do you understand by the protected areas?
So protected areas are those areas which are protected by any special act, such as Environment Protection Act 1986, and
There is no. These are the protection areas under the Environmental Act 1986. I think we are confusing with Wildlife Protection Act.
yes, the Wildlife Protection Act 1972,
Yes.
and
It is not under Environmental Act. That deals with the air pollution and water pollution only. Nothing to do with the territorial part of it. Okay, go ahead.
and under Wildlife Protection Act, we can designate national parks, national wildlife sanctuaries.
How
as
is
protected.
how a national park is different from sanctuary?
So, national park caters to a larger number of species than national wildlife sanctuary, and the restrictions which are in national park is also more than those exist in national wildlife sanctuary. Some activities such as grazing, which are banned in core area.
Recently, Supreme Court has just given certain rulings regarding these protected areas. Can you recall?
Yes, the Supreme Court has prohibited any economic activity in 1 kilometer radius of boundary.
What is the name of that area?
It's an eco-sensitive area and eco zones.
Eco-sensitive zone. Okay.
Yes.
So, in your opinion, is it the right approach, or it is detrimental for the growth, the development of this area?
Sir, in my view, it is a right approach to which will not only prohibit industries and mining in vicinity of national park, but also create awareness among the local people to protect those areas who are residing in.
Okay, Bihar was divided into two parts. Was it a right approach to divide such a beautiful state into two parts? And what is your opinion? I mean, Bihar is doing better than Jharkhand is doing better, or both are not doing better because they are occupying from the bottom. They are the poverty index. They are in the lowest. Both of them.
Yes, it is true, sir.
Why it is so?
Sir, I don't think division of any state will solve the problem of development. We have in India, we have seen larger states performing better than smaller states, and we have also witnessed both states after the division performing better in, such as in Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand. So division may not be a complete answer for the development question, but in the case of Jharkhand, sir, it was done primarily for meeting the aspiration of tribal peoples who are aspiring for a new state since pre-independence days.
So has it been fulfilled?
So at the moment, it appears it is not able
Not
to fulfill because of political instability after the creation of Jharkhand.
Okay, India has have a lot of coal belt areas. But why we import coal? Why don't we explore our own indigenous source? And why we are spending that much of foreign exchange for importing?
Yes, sir, it is true that India is one of the five biggest countries who have reserves of coal. And currently we are importing around 100 million tons of coal per year. But that is primarily to meet the demand of the country. And if we are able to mine more ores of coal in coming days, then that will decline. And a significant aspect of our import is for coking coal, which are used in steel industry, sir. And in India, coking coal production is very less and reserves are also very less. So a significant portion of coking coal is being imported for steel industry.
Okay, my last question is, in COP26 there was a mention about the coal.
Yes,
In
sir.
what context it was being discussed there?
Yes, sir. A group of countries as well as participants were vocally arguing for phasing out coal in coming days, but it was not agreed to.
So what was India's approach?
Sir, India's approach is that our base power production is based on thermal power plants. So we cannot outrightly ban coal or coal mining in that very aspect. We have to transitionally phase out or decrease our dependence, but that cannot be done in a very shortest span of time. It will take time. So India's approach is to develop renewables along with continuing with thermal power plants, and for that India has announced an ambitious plan to increase the target of 500 megawatt by 2030 for renewable production.
Okay, Piyush, your formal interview is over now. Now
Thank you, sir.
we will come to the second part of it, that is the feedback.